Alan Stratton from As Wood Turns. Recently I've been reading this book, Woodturning Methods by Mike Darlow. He goes into a lot of the history and development of various wood turning techniques. If you like history, it's a great book. If you don't care that much for history, it's a bit of a book for insomniacs. I keep it by my bed and read a little every night. One of the projects in it that I liked, however, is this little duck. This duck is a two-axis turning, one axis for the body, another axis for the head. So I decided to make one. So I drew up myself a pattern based on his drawing in the book, translated the measures from millimeters to fractional inches. This turned out to be handy because I could also fold it to lay out the pattern onto the cylinder. And a couple of different folds, ready to go. Very, very handy, by the way. And didn't need to be on a piece of wood. Paper was just fine. But another requirement was a faceplate. I used this on top of a standard metal faceplate, but you'll notice that there's an extra hole in the middle of this. This is for the foot of the duck, and the foot of the duck needs to fit precisely into it. You'll also notice that it is offset from the center a little bit, because that when you use this is when you're turning the head portion on the second axis. So let's make this little duck. I haven't named him yet. In fact, I'm not sure what to call him. What would you name my little two-axis duck?
I'm starting with a block of hard maple that I've shaped into a cylinder. First I'll trim both ends of the cylinder to provide true edges to the top and the bottom. Then I'm going to reduce the cylinder's diameter down to the maximum diameter of any portion of my plan diagram. Now I'll mark out key points on the cylinder from my diagram. These points are usually maximum and minimum diameter indicators. Now I'll start by reducing the cylinder for the duck's foot and body. These are the portions that use the first turning axis. I'm leaving a 2-inch diameter disc at the bottom to go into the faceplate I've already prepared. In retrospect, I should have reversed the process and prepared the faceplate to fit the foot instead of the other way around. Once these are completed, I'm sanding the body and foot, as I will not return the blank to this axis again. Now I've mounted the duck to the faceplate with the disc in the pre-drilled hole. I've carefully drilled pilot holes and screwed the duck base to the faceplate. I was careful to put the screws inside the actual diameter of the duck's foot. Otherwise, they would have penetrated up through the disc and could have been hit by a tool. This is another good reason to rethink the chucking arrangement. Now it is a wild time turning. Having shifted the axis by 0.591 of an inch, the wood is flipping around the new axis like crazy. The tool is hitting wood, then air, until enough wood has been removed to establish the new cylinder for the neck and the head. Once round again, I'll mark critical points for the top of head, bottom of head, and minimum neck diameter. Then continue on to shape the head and neck. Easy does it to ensure the tool does not hit the duck's body. Worst of all would be for the duck's body to hit my hand. That would be a big ouch. Unfortunately, in this process, I shaved off a little more of the duck's tail than I should have, so my duck has a shaved tail. The extra wood at the top of the duck was too much. I could have used it better at the foot of the duck. The hardest part is the interface between the neck and the body. The key is very gentle strokes with the gouge. Then on to sanding. This is normal except for the interface between the neck and the body. For me, this joint was impossible to sand with the lathe turning, so I sanded this area with the lathe stopped. Before taking the duck off the lathe, I'll drill the hole for the beak using the tool rest for a guide. I aimed to be exactly perpendicular to the axis, but got off just a little. But I like the result anyway, and will not worry about it in the future. He's just turned his head a little. Finally, I'll tool off the nub at the top of the head, then touch up the sanding. I left this till now to keep the tailstock in place as long as possible for support. I'll use a skew for this portion. Finally, I need a beak. I'll use a small piece of scrap walnut that I've glued to a wood faceplate with CA glue. I'll round it, make a tenon on the end to glue it to the head, sand it, and part it off. This is skew work, much like finials. Finally, I'm gluing the beak with a little white glue. If any glue does squeeze out, the white should not be noticeable. I'll have to clean up the base with sanding disc at the drill press before giving my nameless duck a quick little swim in walnut oil. So Ducky, what's your name and where are your siblings? Next time, I'm going to rethink the faceplate mounting. At the Utah Symposium, I saw some other ideas that are worth trying out. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to my As Wood Turns channel and website so we can keep you updated. Have fun and be safe. Always wear a full face shield. This is Alan Stratton from AsWoodTurns.com. We'll see you on the next video.